So this is just to show a quick idea of how I think two-sword should work. And there's three basic methods, and you're seeing the first one here, which is two-sword as essentially long dagger. Each of these moves, you can see I'm imaginarily taking an opponent's blade out of the way and throwing the shot. That's the first idea. Then the second idea, which should be coming up here in just another moment, is sort of the nuclear option, which is where everything goes all at once, like that, where you're doing a sweep and a shot simultaneously. Because most people have trouble doing multiple things at once. So you give them multiple things to think about at the same time, and they kind of choke. In all cases, though, with these, one of the things which should be obvious is that you're trying to make sure you don't get your tips crossed. So even if you're watching the first ones, when I'm doing those sweeps, my tips are clearing each other from the wrist action. Then the third thing is melee. And this is melee, the only time in the world when I want that really stupidly long sword, which is now sticking off the top. And you can see the idea with melee is, at the moment, I'm lined up against somebody who is offside from my pel, and I'm throwing the shots at an angle. And this is back to the sort of basic melee tactics we talked about, which is that you don't really tend to fight the person in front of you. You tend to want to fight the person next to the person in front of you. And for this, the left hand, for me, has the shorter sword, and its whole purpose is defense. And I'm staying out of range for the most part, and parrying, defending myself, and then when an opening shows up, I take that long, leany shot with the big, flexy, whippy sword. And you can see how much whip there is in that sword. This is just right there. I'm just demonstrating how much whip there is in that sword. I mean, look at the bend in that. That, I think, is particularly useful in the melee situation because I'm throwing fast and I'm throwing offline into a volatile moving situation. So having the extra bend in the sword is a remarkably useful thing to prevent particularly hard hits. Otherwise, having that much bend in a sword is silly.